Welcome to COVID-19 Fertility Empowerment Podcast. I'm your host, Panta Kalhor. Episode 18, Orgasmic Meditation with Diane M.Vich, registered nurse, professor, author, and holistic health coach. Please subscribe to Panta Kalhor Transition channel and pre-order my book, Naturally Conceived, through Amazon. Thank you for watching. Chronic illness and stress can weaken your body, make some blockers for your reproduction system, but this is not end of the world. You can still be healed and conceived with a healthy baby by releasing your pain, anxiety, and trauma. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Diane M.Vich. And she's a registered nurse, professor, author, holistic medicine coach, and her specialty is helping women with chronic pain, digestive issues, and anxiety using alternative approaches to release trauma and pain. I'm so happy to have you here, Diane. Welcome to my show. And I really wish to hear your story. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I am excited to be on the show as well. And one of those stories that I usually like to say to start off is, if I could go back in time and tell my 15-year-old self something, I would tell her something that Walt Disney used to say: if you can dream it, you can do it. Because that back then, that little girl didn't believe in herself. She let all her dreams go away. I wanted to be a cheerleader, gave up on that because I didn't think I was good enough, didn't think I was pretty enough, worthy enough. And all of those beliefs kept getting in my way through life and getting in my way of dreams, until finally I reached a new dream, which was to become a nurse, which, mind you, I had stopped myself once before. And once I achieved that dream and I finally realized that I could learn how to heal my own body, because I was dealing with a lot of chronic issues since I had so many self-limiting beliefs, that's when I switched my dream to become a cheerleader for life and help empower people to realize that you can go outside of the box of conventional medicine and find healing for your body and really connect with yourself.
Great. So did you have some trouble for pregnancy and some fertility issues?
Yes, I did. So with my oldest son, he's going to be 14 now. We tried to conceive for about a year. We had not been using protection for longer than that. We just finished, saying, well, if it happens, it happens. It's time to have babies, right? And we were having a hard time. And I ended up making an appointment with a fertility specialist, an endocrinologist, because I also had some issues with my thyroid that I had to get that monitored as well. And I had the appointment. And miraculously, I let go. I let go of the stress of becoming pregnant, of all the fears and all of those emotions. And by the time those 3 months passed that I had to wait for that appointment, I was pregnant with a few weeks before.
Amazing.
Yes, it was quite a shocker because I didn't expect it. I was like, well, I'm going to go to the doctor. We're going to figure this out in a couple of weeks. And I was already pregnant.
Good. So what do you think that helped you to get pregnant after realizing that you may have some issues?
Well, I had already started changing my diet, and I was trying to exercise more. So I knew that my body was a little bit more optimal for, growing a baby. But mindset was a big part of it. And that's also something that I learned dealing with my chronic illness, is that the mindset and really changing those fears and those worries and letting them go is what really opens us up to be a creator, to be able to hold a baby inside of our bodies.
That's perfect. So right now, if somebody have these issues and come to you and saying that I have fertility issues and I cannot get conceived after trying for years, what do you suggest? What is the first thing that you're going to tell her?
Well, the first thing I do is I usually take them through my process. So I have a technique that's called the Unleash technique. So we go through different strategies, supplementation to support the body and heal any damage that's there, figure out what symptoms are they already having, if they have chronic pain or digestive symptoms, make sure that the diet is not inflammatory, because there's a lot of foods that cause inflammation that can make their symptoms worse. So it requires a little bit of understanding exactly what's going on with the person. A big part of it is letting go of the past. So working with them through hypnosis and figuring out if there was any underlying trauma, anything that happened in their childhood that was pretty significant. Because even if it was something minor, it plays a role every single day, and we don't realize it, because it happens when we communicate with strangers, when we have a confrontation with a partner. These emotions come up and they continue to cause us problems, but we don't realize they are. I also use a lot of affirmations. I use meditations, and combine, depending on the patient and what they need, the client, combine them into other holistic practices. So maybe they need acupuncture. Like right now I'm wearing little beads on my ears, which are pressure points. So it depends on the person. You know, I don't do acupuncture, but I use alternative therapies, and I encourage everyone to find things that work for them to incorporate in the process.
Wow. Do you still have those chronic pain, or it's gone already?
I don't have any chronic pain. I have flare-ups every once in a while. Like anyone, you can get injured doing exercise. But what I did realize, even when I published my book is called The Truth About IBS and Anxiety, is that the root cause of pain is not only that we have a genetic predisposition, so we have a specific pattern, and our body responds to stress in that way, but there's also an emotional component to it. So when I have flare-ups of pain, I go in and I try to figure out what was it that happened within the last 24 hours that really caused me some emotional distress. And then I'll figure out what it was. And then I synergistically work on releasing that pain. And usually within a couple hours, it's gone.
Wow. What a technique. I really wish to know about that. You know, this holistic medicine really amazed me, because I had the same issue for fertility. And then as soon as I live it and I followed some mental techniques that I knew for myself, and also some holistic medicine follow up, then everything was perfect. I had my baby. So that's why I really encourage women also, as you said, go and check if they have any underlying issues. That's what I always heard from all acupuncturists, all holistic medicine practitioners, and also even medical doctors. Some medical doctors these days go to this holistic medicine path, and it really amazed me, because I see the connection between Western and Eastern medicine. Now it's completely obvious. And the reason is, sometimes with the conventional medicine, you cannot find your problem. I'm not a specialist in medicine, but I've heard it a lot, and through my experience, I've seen it with my own eyes. So let's go deeper, as you are a registered nurse, so you know about this medical issues, these things. So I know there are some blood tests. Somebody who has fertility issues come to the doctor, and you take it. You actually check the hormones, everything. But what don't you check for the fertility issues? I mean, I know the whole body should be healthy, and that's why you have to check everything. What do you recommend to medical doctors to check before they said you have unexplained fertility?
Well, I know that they're always going to run their typical standard tests. They're checking, I'm sure, for inflammation, the hormones, making sure everything's in balance. But sometimes tests don't tell you everything. I know when I was looking and going to doctors, I would get tons and tons of tests, and they would say my tests were perfect, but I was feeling miserable. So it didn't really align. So sometimes what I encourage people is that they need to advocate for themselves, not only go to the specialist and get the testing that they need done, but go into the alternative realm and see if they can figure out, is there something else that's underlying that isn't going to come out in conventional textbooks? Because for me to heal my body and overcome chronic illness and all of these pains and digestive issues, it didn't happen at the doctor's office. I figured it out on my own. And it was by combining alternative therapies and understanding how the mind impacts the body and creates the symptoms. So sometimes we need to create a balance between that medical practice and going to the doctor, and then finding alternatives to figure out exactly what's going on with us.
So what was your issue? I mean, other than medical issues, what did you realize you have?
I ended up being diagnosed with a syndrome called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And I also had autoimmune leaky gut. So my body was basically attacking itself since I was a teenager. Wow. And it all started because I was, hiding myself, not speaking up for myself my entire life. And all of these symptoms started to develop because we hold our emotions inside of our bodies, and they get trapped. And then we get pain and symptoms. And as we start to release them and really live the life that we really desire truly inside, is when things start to evolve and our body starts to feel better.
Okay. So as I just guess, if somebody saying, I don't believe in unexplained infertility. So I don't believe in unexplained infertility because there should be something to explain it. It's so easy for the doctor saying you have unexplained infertility. So they don't explain what's happening to your body. And another easy way, they say, okay, you have a stress, anxiety, blah, 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 blah. I think these are not enough information to give you as you may have something that you don't know. So if somebody come to you, do you send her to holistic medicine practitioner, acupuncture? What do you do?
Yeah, so depending on what they need, I will recommend they go to an acupuncturist. If I feel like they need blood tests, because I don't do blood tests, I would send them to a homeopathic physician or a functional medicine physician to dig a little deeper. But a lot of the time, simply with changing the diet, using supplementation, and then making sure we're doing some kind of exercise and releasing these emotions from our body, things start to change. And you begin to see how they become aware of their symptoms before they even happen. So we start to make them minimal, and eventually they disappear.
I've seen your topic saying orgasmic meditation. What is that? It's so interesting for me to know what this.
Yes. So I'm sure you've heard of orgasmic meditation before, but mine is spelled a little different. And what I actually do is now in my Manifest Wellness program, I'm taking my clients into a new way of meditating by bringing in colors and scents and smells and sensations. So I really guide them into using their 5 senses, and they begin to feel and experience things differently in their body. And once they begin to experience things differently, then we can lead into learning how to squeeze the Kegels while they're relaxing and feel those sensations flowing through their body in a new way.
Interesting. I never had this meditation before, like having like with the color and sense. No, so I don't know how it works. But what I know about the senses, if you can work with all senses, you can focus more on what you're doing. And this is kind of enjoyment. Because if you want to double, triple your enjoy and pleasure, you have to use your senses more and more. So let's say drinking a cup of tea, you can watch it, you can smell it, you can feel it, So lots of things around this, or you just drink it without noticing that you even drink coffee or tea. So it up to you how you're gonna add your pleasure and how you're going to add to your pleasure and how you're going to enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. We need to take more time to take pleasure and enjoy things, and sometimes we don't. So that's kind of what this is about. It's about really helping them tap into it in a relaxed state. So when they're awake and they see colors in their environment, they begin to feel them in their bodies. They begin to notice the smells and the scents more frequently, and notice the sensations, the things we don't even notice. We live in our life so quickly that we don't even notice that we get little tingles when we're talking to someone, or we get goosebumps, or maybe we feel like a little pressure in our heart because we have a connection with someone. We don't pay attention to those things. So it's about slowing down so we can feel them when we're quiet, and then begin to feel them when we're in our real life, so that things start to shift around us.
Slow down. Yeah, you're right. Because as you see, if you just go on a trip, right? On the way you go on a trip, you just sit and sleep. But you have some opportunity to look slowly, enjoy it, use your senses, and you don't need to go somewhere else, because this is a journey anyway. You get there, but you can slow down and enjoy. And that's what we actually miss while struggling with fertility issues, especially when you're over 40. You are in a hurry. Oh, I have to get pregnant. My age is over. That's why I always tell my clients 3 months doesn't hurt you. You can actually enjoy your life in 3 months and see how you can see the result. It really helps. And I think another important thing is having a good support, like positive people around you. How much is important to have a positive partner beside you?
It's huge. I have a whole chapter on how important it is to have a good support system. Not only your partner, the person in your house, but also the people that you talk to frequently. You want people that uplift you, that bring your mood up, that make you feel good about yourself. If they're constantly negative and bringing you down and you feel worse after the phone call, that is not someone you need to be around when you're trying to relax yourself and create a baby.
I think that's why we have to keep away from all toxin. Toxin is not only what you eat or what you have, like a plastic or whatever. Toxin is people around you that may keep you down, and they're gonna be more, maybe sometimes they want to sympathize you, but this is not sympathy, this is toxin. To me, some people don't try to push you forward or encourage you. Simply they said, all right, don't worry, you are too old, you can have a baby, maybe you just have to enjoy your life. This is not the way you can encourage people to have the baby or support them. And it's better you just try to be more positive. Even going to fertility clinic, I found out many people changed their specialist because they ended up having a negative specialist, as I had. I Unfortunately, I didn't have a good feeling going to fertility specialist. But some of my friends and clients change it, and they may go to another country to have this specialist, going to Mexico or Europe or another country, and suddenly after years something happened.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. That they have to go search for someone else, but definitely advocate for yourself. If you don't feel comfortable with a doctor, then you don't need to stick with them. You can find someone else that works better for you.
Yes. So, what are the three uh, points that you can recommend to somebody who is struggling with fertility issues to have a successful fertility?
Okay. Number one would definitely be you want to make sure you're eating a diet that's not inflammatory to you. So becoming aware of there are 5 foods that are very inflammatory. So sugar, dairy, gluten can be very inflammatory. Corn and preservatives. So trying to stay away from those kinds of foods and eating more foods that you're cooking at home will be better for your body. Number two, I would say self-intimacy. I would say the body really thrives on orgasms, on healing and repairing through that. And sometimes when we're in the middle of this whole fertility thing, we forget that self-pleasure can be part of it and help the body actually conceive. And the body needs healthy orgasms. So not only pleasing yourself, but also having sex without thinking that it has to be to produce the baby will be beneficial for the body. And then number three is definitely mindset. It's, making a decision that, yes, this is something I want, but I'm not going to let my negative thoughts take over and try to shift those negative thoughts if they do arise. And sometimes, you got to use hypnosis or meditations to be able to tap into that. Because I know my negative Nancy goes on all the time.
Mm-hmm. So why do you say dairy product is inflammatory?
A lot of people that I've noticed in my practice do better if we remove it for a short period of time. So usually what I do is an elimination diet for 21 days, just to remove these inflammatory foods for a short period of time to allow the body to detoxify and clean out toxins. And then we start to reintroduce them again. And if they're fine with the dairy and it doesn't cause any digestive symptoms or any symptoms at all, then we reintroduce it. But usually just for 21 days or sometimes 2 months, just to remove it for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Because I've heard too many things about dairy products. Even for my own pregnancy, I tried to totally eliminate it, and it really worked. I don't know if it's just because of dairy product, but for me it worked. And I've heard because dairy product has lots of hormone in it,
Mm-hmm.
and especially because they try to use the fake pregnancy for the cow to get the milk, right? So it means they have to inject lots of hormones, yeah, to cow to have the milk, and this is horrible to me. And I thought maybe that's why we shouldn't even take these products, even if we like it. But at least for duration of our fertility struggling, we may need to eliminate even cheese, milk, and all the dairy products.
It's just better for the body. Just leave it clean, let it detoxify, and allow things to happen as it cleans itself.
What other nutrition do you recommend for healthy pregnancy?
I definitely recommend a lot of fruits and vegetables. I don't think we eat enough. I honestly don't even eat enough. So I supplement actually with dehydrated fruits and vegetables, like little capsules. And I find my kids do really well on them as well. But definitely fruits and vegetables. We need to eat more of that. I think we eat way too many carbs, way too many dairy products, and we need to bump up the fruits and vegetables because that's really what the body needs.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other program, any suggestion, anything that can help my audience?
Well, I do have a 7-day stress cleanse that's happening right now. It's all about learning different strategies to move energy, to help us feel more relaxed, have more fun. One of the things that I like to tell people to do is dance. So turn
What
on
is
your
it?
music, dance.
Dance. Wow.
Yeah.
What a good technique.
Turn on your music, and it brings more joy into your life. You're less stressed out, and you feel better about yourself. So a lot of the times what I do is, if I'm feeling anxious or stressed, is I pick my favorite song, stand in front of the mirror, and go dance. And I teach my clients how to combine it with breath work and different ways to release emotions. But simply standing in front of a mirror and dancing and looking at yourself really helps release some stress.
Wow, what a happy technique. I love that. Good. Any other recommendation, anything you're going to add to this interview?
I would say, regardless if you're trying to become pregnant or not, definitely let go of that fear and overwhelming emotions, and allow your body to let it happen by working on some mindset shifts and maybe creating like a meditation or an affirmation for yourself, something that is empowering. Like, I'm a wonderful woman that has a wonderful womb, and just write it everywhere and paste it on your countertops so that you can see it. A lot of the times we need to see the affirmations, and then we need to see it again and then begin to use it in our life as we're living. So if you're dancing in front of that mirror and you have your affirmation, you start reciting it in your head. I'm a wonderful woman with a wonderful womb.
Actually, this is a good idea. Gives you lots of self-confidence when you have lots of good affirmation about yourself, especially in the middle of a struggling, you feel depressed and you feel that you're not going to get there, but it's going to happen to you because you feel confidence and you trust yourself again, you love yourself again. So this is a really good recommendation, especially dancing in front of mirror. When I was teenager, I used to dance in front of mirror and I felt so good. I don't know, it just it double your joy because you also see yourself as you dancing, and it feels really great.
It does. It feels good. And the affirmations are good too, because the one I use is very similar to that. And I think that's a great one for women that are trying to become pregnant.
So give me some affirmations, some sample affirmation for women.
For women.
Trying to conceive.
Okay.
Especially, okay, let's do that. For women over 40 of age.
Okay. I would say, I love myself. I love my womb. We want to focus on the womb a lot. I'm a beautiful woman. I have a fantastic womb. I would definitely use the womb in there. I use a lot of different phrases depending on what's the goal. I know for mine, the last one that I've been using is, I'm a wonderful woman. I have a wonderful life. There's just so many different affirmations, but right now on the spot, I can't think of any. I even have 1,000 in my book, but I can't remember. You can get colorful paper and write out your affirmations and like stick them around. I am knowledgeable and intelligent. I am powerful and true. I am worthy of more. So you can say, I am worthy of a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I embrace my unlimited potential to live the life I dream. So I embrace my potential to have a baby in my womb. I thrive under pressure. I choose to see everyone and everything with joy and love. I am love. I am love in my womb.
I'm already empowered. I'm going to have another one.
Oh, I'm done.
Good. I love our talk, and thank you so much for being here. And I really enjoyed it. Hopefully my audience have the same feeling.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, thank you so much. Please subscribe to Ponta Calhor Transition channel and pre-order my book Naturally Conceived through Amazon. Thank you for watching.